Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? Matt, could you put the flag up so that we can do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States
of
America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under
God, indivisible,
with liberty,
liberty and justice for all. And then,
Roger,
as we always do, there we go. Roger's coming on board. Mac, if you could put up the four-way test, we'll recite the four-way test, and then I'll bring up one housekeeping item, and then I think we can turn everything over to Gary for today's session. So our four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. 1, is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
2, is it fair to
Fair
all
to
concerned? 3, will it
Will
build goodwill,
better
friendships? And 4, will it be beneficial
to all
concerned? My one housekeeping item is next Wednesday, the 31st. We do not have a meeting, but there will be a board of directors meeting. And so for the board, we'll get that information to you. I believe it'll be 6 p.m. on next Wednesday. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Gary so that he can lead Michelle, Darla, and Joe, bring us up to speed on what Rotarians are doing regarding clean, safe, sanitary drinking water. Just as an aside, I was watching a YouTube video. Matt Damon has been very involved with an organization bringing clean drinking water, especially to the continent of Africa. So I always thought that maybe we should reach out to Matt and try and see if he could become a member of the Richmar Rotary. I think that would be...
I'm all for that.
Works for me.
Okay, I'll reach out to his people and get his people to talk to my people.
Honduras Hope Mission too.
I know Darla's giving him a thumbs up too, even though we can't see her. She's giving Matt a thumbs up.
Definitely.
Like I said, I'll reach out to his people when I'm next in Hollywood.
Okay, cool.
Gary,
ready for me?
Take it away, please.
Okay.
Sure.
Mac, if you could set it up that we can screen share. And I'll just say, this is a joint effort of Michelle and Joe. It's hard for me to say Joe Schmidt. I'm so used to calling him Hoche. And Darla Mata. And I have to give Darla credit. Darla is the one who really initiated this whole endeavor with caring for the water. But
Yep.
If I can screen share, and then I think Michelle is going to kick us off with the discussion.
You're good, Gary.
All right. How come all I see on my screen is whiteboard?
That's the board you got selected, I guess.
How do I get others? What?
Hit screen share. It should give you a number of windows that you have active on your computer, and you pick one.
Yes, you're in the Mac world, so I can't really help.
I have the.
Is it in one of your tabs, Gary, or in open? Is the PowerPoint open in one of your tabs? You could just click on that tab, maybe.
Yeah, I have it open.
Oh, okay. Did you hit share screen first?
Well, I think it's just going to come up.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Just a whiteboard.
Whiteboard, but at least we've shared screen.
Yeah, you've done that before, Gary. You have that whiteboard in your foreground somehow.
All right, let me try again.
Bev to the rescue.
There it is. Now it's there.
Cool.
Okay.
Do share screen again.
All right, now it's up.
Yep.
Before you play, though, did you, the view options at the top, we need to make sure we have the sound and the under view options, optimize for sound. Because we're going to play a video a bit later.
Okay,
Think we're good?
I think so.
Okay, great. All right, so it's a pleasure to be back with the Richmar Club. I always love coming to your meetings, and you guys are such great partners with the Keystone Club, and we appreciate all the support that you've given us. We had a great event on Saturday, and as Gary said, you know, Darla got us kickstarted with this. Rotarians walk for water all over the globe, and it's a really cool thing. This was our first time, but we had a great turnout. We had over 60 participants at Adams Township Park. You can see up in the top left, you can see Jim and Judy Hughes attended from Slippery Rock. You can see John Marshall in his shelter box tent. Of course, Ken was there, Cindy was there, Jack Cohen, our district governor, Beth Marshall. I mean, we had a really strong turnout for our first event. We were super happy about it. And we had a lot of fun. We had kids. These are family friends of ours that came out. My nephew there is in the middle. But, you know, we got a lot of great feedback that, particularly from the families that brought children, that we really helped, you know, kind of get some new thoughts in their mind about helping others and about clean water. So the real reason we were there was to raise water for the mission in Honduras. And that's exactly what we did. We raised over $3,000. Donations are still coming in. And that really means that the Keystone Club and the Richmar Club have been able to support 128 families for over 2 years with water filters. And guys, that's amazing. You need to give yourselves a round of applause, because Richmar really came out and supported this event, and people walked and donated, and it was a great day. So that's going to kick us off, and we're going to learn a little bit more about water as we go. So the next few slides are going to be sort of interactive. We're going to try to see if we can get any volunteers from the audience, if you will, but we're going to do 5 or 6 quiz questions. So the first one is, how much of the world's fresh water is available to drink? If anybody wants to make a guess, just speak up. Is there anybody out there that wants to make a guess? Come on, you guys at Richmar know a lot about water. I know you do. Mac Purvis, what do you think?
Well, what's available mean? I mean, drinkable at the moment, or
Available to drink.
probably 1%?
Okay, let's see what the answer is, Gary.
1%.
Oh, Mac, very good, 1%, excellent. We're 1 for 1. All right, let's see what else. Which continent has the largest population affected by water scarcity? This one could be a little tricky. Anybody venture a guess on this one?
Asia.
Who said that?
Dallas.
Yeah, I know, Dallas Hippo, I think.
Okay, Asia, excellent. Way to go, Dallas.
What do I win?
Well, you just win a kudos, thumbs up, kudos. All right, how much water is used to make a typical pair of jeans? This one kind of surprised me, I have to be honest. Any guesses out there?
I can only guess
Okay,
in gallons.
I'm going to tell you liters. Yeah, liters are kind of different, 10,000 liters, but that's a lot of liters. If you think about a Coke bottle that's a liter, 10,000 liters of water is used to make a typical pair of jeans. That kind of was surprising to me. All right, number 4, Gary, what do we got? How many children die each day from diarrhea caused by unsafe drinking water and poor sanitation? Anybody have a guess out there? How many each day? Joe Mancuso, I know you're out there. You have a guess? No, you don't have a guess. Okay. We're going to reveal 2,000. That's unacceptable.
5,000.
5,000. Well,
2,000.
2,000. And you know, that's why we're doing what we're doing, is trying to raise awareness and try to raise funds to help make that number go down. Number 5 in the last quiz question is, in which year did the UN General Assembly and the Human Rights Council recognize the human right to safe, clean drinking water and sanitation? Any guesses?
Maybe one of the 2010 years. I guess we repeated one.
Oh,
Okay, Mac. Well, you have a 50-50 shot, don't you now? That's great. Well, it is 2010.
I'm gonna have to remember to correct that slide.
Oh, that was great, though. I loved it. That was great. Thanks for participating.
Okay. Okay, Hoche, you're up, I think.
Okay, folks, it's time for some facts here. So the fact is that there is a lack of water systems for folks. That's why we have the problem to start with. It's not like they have a water system here that can provide that water when we turn on the faucet. If they do have a water system, it is very dilapidated for sure, like water pipes leaking sometimes, and other times sucking in dirt from the environment. So this is the part where, you know, talking about water is fun and it's easy. This is the part that we don't want to talk about so much, and that is the lack of sewage systems, very poor or the total lack of sewage systems that causes the problem. So the problem is the contamination. Our water system, our water cycle does a great job, Mother Nature, in purifying the water. When it reaches the ground, then it can become contaminated. So when we know there's a conflict in the world, we can hear about what's happening every week, if not every day. We can get statistics and we can hear what happens, but the lives that are lost every day from the lack of water and sanitation happen all over the world, and it's silent. When you have poor water, kids get dysentery. And with dysentery, you become dehydrated and you're sick, and they certainly can't go to school. And we certainly need to have our bodies dehydrated in order for our bodies and minds to develop. Again, when kids are sick, it reflects this particular fact. When kids are sick, they miss school. And when you miss a lot of school over the years, eventually it turns into a cycle of poverty.
Okay. Sadly, most of the impact of having to go out and try to access water that's not available falls upon women and young girls. About 80% of the time, and it's often just a very cultural thing. In many countries around the world, it's just considered women's work. You know, that would certainly not happen in my household, but it does in a lot of places. And so, you know, I'm sure all of you have seen pictures, at least, if not sometimes in person, of women and girls going out carrying water on the tops of their heads, kind of like the young girls at our Walk for Water were carrying their water jugs on top of their heads to kind of remind themselves a little of that. Often now, too, people will, you know, they've developed these backpack type of water buffalo things that can be helpful for people to use to carry water. When you think about it, a gallon of water weighs 8.3 pounds. So if you're going to carry 5 pounds of water on your head, that's 42 pounds there, not counting the weight of the container. And so it helps a lot to be able to use one of those water buffalo type backpacks. But in many countries around the world, girls and women, they spend about 25% of their day. And so you can see why it's so difficult for them to keep up with their education when they're spending that much time going out fetching water. And they did one study in Tanzania that indicated that if they could just reduce the distance, maybe by digging another well to make that water available a little closer, if they could reduce that time to fetch water from 30 to 15 minutes, it could greatly increase their school attendance. And just to put it into perspective, here in the US, average American uses 88 gallons of water every day for all the things that we do. That's not just drinking water, obviously, but showers, washing cars, watering our lawns, all of that. Whereas in the developing world, the average person uses only 5 gallons of water. And why that differential? It's not because they don't want to take showers like we do, or have all the swimming pools and all the kinds of things that we do, but it's because for us, we turn on a tap and the water flows. For them, somebody has to oftentimes go and fetch it, and that takes time and that takes energy, and that's difficult to do. But I've been talking about this, and I don't want you to get to think that the problems of water are only in other countries around the world and in undeveloped countries, or because we all have heard about Flint, Michigan and the problems up there.
Mhm.
Did you know there are actually 6 major rivers in the world where, because of water shortage, the water is either in danger of or no longer reaching the sea. And 2 of those now are connected with the US. One, the Colorado River, that probably most of us envision, raging rapids rushing through the bottom of the Grand Canyon. But because of so much drain on the water supply, it no longer reaches the Pacific. And also, that's also beginning to happen with the Rio Grande on the Mexican border. But there are also, there's places in Pakistan, China, India, Australia as well, where that same situation is occurring. We're also depleting the aquifers in places like Florida. There's so many people moving into areas, drawing on these groundwater systems. And it's something that we're going to have to certainly be aware of and do something to remedy in the future. And then, of course, we're polluting people all over the US. There was, for example, not too long ago, a 10,000 gallon chemical spill on the Elk River in West Virginia, left 300,000 people without water. In Toledo, Ohio, a big toxic algae bloom contaminated their water up there, left 400,000 people without drinking water. There was a big 39,000 ton coal ash dump along the Dan River in North Carolina because of a pipeline collapse. As a result, 30 million Americans live in areas where the water systems are unsafe, and 2 million have no access to running water at all. And some of the places where that's the case are listed here: at Denmark, South Carolina, Newark, New Jersey, where they've had water outages, Arizona, a couple of places. Both of those, I think, are on Indian, Native American reservations out there. And then some places in Kentucky where they've had the water polluted because of, from mining and stuff like that. So with that, Michelle?
Okay, so we're going to move on to the Did You Know? So did you know that Rotarians are helping to provide clean, safe drinking water around the world? So we talked a minute ago about Tanzania, and about 12 different Rotary clubs got together and really helped a village in Tanzania put together some infrastructure. And what was really cool about this, and I think this is one of the things that Rotary really does best, they don't just go in and help solve a problem, but they teach the community how to maintain the system and how to sustain it. So, you know, this was a huge undertaking in Tanzania, but helped, you know, a lot of people, 1,500 people.
Darla, hopefully you're not out of service right now.
I'm not, but I am in the car driving, so I'm going to turn my my screen off for just a little bit while I present.
Okay.
Let me get the slides back so I can see what you're doing. They just went blank on me. Hang on a second, guys. I'm trying to find the slides. I'm working from my phone.
That's hard to do.
You're a passenger, right, Darla?
Let's hope so, for otherwise Chris is in big trouble. Do you want us to jump in?
It's the one about access to toilets in the Philippines.
Did she sign off and sign back on, Mac? Can you tell?
Oh, nope. There we go. Can you
There
hear
we
me?
go. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, good deal. So the coolest thing about Rotary is the ability to connect together with a variety of different projects. As you can see by some of the pictures that we're going to flip through here in just a moment, working together in, yes, our own neighborhood to provide a walk for water is important, but also working together around the world. Rotary clubs joined together to build 222 toilets, as well as hand washing stations and filters and rainwater collectors. And the next two slides to help school children and villages to be able to have clean water. If you can skip to the next slide, it talks about clean water in Guatemala schools, targeting 10 schools, providing, again, toilets, washing stations, water tanks, and education about water, about the importance of proper hand washing. If the next slide talks about if we could just educate students and children about washing their hands on a regular basis and how to properly wash their hands, it could reduce the spread of diseases by over 50%. So that alone, in providing water, clean water in.
Okay. Okay. All of you know also that all the Richmar and Kraft and Ingram and a number of other Rotary clubs have teamed together to help us out in Honduras in providing water filters there. We annually serve about
I lost
1,500
connection.
and 2,000 people. But
Oh, well.
as a result of this, we've been able to get a 90% drop in gastrointestinal illnesses in the 6 communities where we serve. They're also helping out with community water projects.
When I got all those out of there, I lost my whole slide
India?
as to seeing pictures.
Okay. And they're doing a project in India as another place where they're helping. And again, they're training people to help with these things. A few weeks ago, we had a program on our club about the situation in Lebanon as a result of that explosion that happened there. And our club actually kicked in and helped to provide some funding for that. But you know, that's not the only place that Rotary has been active in that country. And one of them is in helping the clubs to come together to deliver clean water throughout the country. An amazing thing they can do there, because they bring together people from vastly different religious backgrounds and cultural backgrounds uh, uh, and work together to try to solve the problems. One of the great benefits of working through Rotary.
Mhm.
And then also, if any of you paid any attention to this past issue of the Rotarian magazine, there was a big article on there on what Rotary is doing, just working to help clean up wastewater and eliminate the problems right here in the U.S. in rural Alabama. So.
Mhm.
I'm back. I think,
Yep, you're back, Darla.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
All right. So how can you make a difference and get involved? This project has been set up so that we actually have access to slides and material, a water planning guide, stickers, printouts of material that you can hand out to different organizations. So what we would like to do is to encourage
I think we lost you, Darla.
I don't know what's going
There
on.
you go. Okay,
I'm sorry.
it's all right.
I'll just let you go because my service keeps cutting in and out evidently.
Go ahead, Gary.
Just to let you know, we had our Walk for Water event on Saturday that I think all of you are aware of. You may not realize that Darla is actually based down in North Carolina, and she teamed up with the Rotary Club down there to do a Walk for Water connected with the Boys and Girls Club, where they had about 50 children walking, and they had some individuals in the Rotary Club who pledged $500 for every child who walked. Was the way they did their fundraising down there. But again, it was mostly an educational event, and she actually went to a lake, got the dirty water out of the lake, and had poured it through the water filter and showed them the comparison of a jar of the dirty water and then a jar of the clean water that had passed through the filter, just to kind of help, again, educate the kids and make it very tangible for them, the difference, what their walking can do. And then she also did another walk with her neighbors. She gathered together 7 neighbor families and did a walk for water in her neighborhood with just those families. And instead of using yard signs like we did up here, she had all the facts and the educational materials on a series of kind of slides laminated so that she could show them one by one to the people. But it's that kind of thing that we want to encourage other Rotary clubs around our district and around the world throughout this coming year to host a Walk for Water. People can do it in their neighborhood, or if they can connect up, if anybody has connections with a scout troop or a school club, whether it's the Interact Club or even one of the other service clubs in the school, to put on a Walk for Water event. We'll be glad to work with them and help them with that planning and help them to pull it off. So it doesn't have to be a difficult project for somebody can do, but we want to spread the word around the world of the need for water as much as we can through this coming year. Just a reminder to you too, I think Hoche is going to talk about how you can help even just today.
Yes, to support the cause, we want you to go out and have a good time today. And you can do that by going to Domenico's and then going for ice cream after Domenico's, because Domenico's has told us that they will contribute 10% of the day's sales to the water project. So that's 10% of the whole day's sales. So that's today. Please get takeout or go to Domenico's and sit down. After that, there's Brewster's, because the next coupon is a Brewster's coupon. And you can use that all the way to the end of May. And it's not illegal to copy it many times and use it over and over.
Before Joe goes on, I'll just let you know, Bev and I are going to Domenico's right after this meeting today. So we're going to get our lunch in to help support the cause. And we already went to Brewster's. We were the first ones to give them a coupon. The poor young girls working there on Saturday afternoon weren't sure what to do with it, but I assured her if she took it and she showed that coupon to the owner, he would know what it was all about. And but as Jose said, you can print this out as many times as you want. And as I said, Bev and I go to Brewster's about once a week. So hopefully we will continue to raise some funds there. So go ahead, Jose.
Okay, next slide. This is another way to participate, and maybe you've heard of Ingomar Living Waters before, but this is an event, and of course, as you see, it's April 24th at 8 o'clock, and it will be virtual. It will be virtual this year, but I will say that next year, I'm sure we'll get back to where we belong, and as has happened in the past, the event was held at the Roberto Clemente Museum on Penn Avenue in Pittsburgh. And you really have a good time there because not only because you see all the baseball paraphernalia and items that Clemente used and had back in the day. But the other thing is in the Clemente Museum, there's actually they make wine. There's a wine cellar in the basement. So thus we come up, Ingomar did with wine to water. So we're kind of reversing it here a little bit for the cause. So and then there's auctions and there's entertainment. Now this year on April the 24th, one of the beginnings of the entertainment is a magician, and everybody likes a magician. It's I know because of this organization, it's guaranteed to be a first class a piece of entertainment. And then there's auctions, and it'll sound like our horse race event because there's many things that are auctioned off, including even drilling a well. Now, if you want to represent your business with Ingomar Living Waters, the deadline is the 5th of April to become a sponsor. And we can get you information on that if you like to. When you are a sponsor, that gives you the virtual link to attend the event. And we have sponsorships there from $25 to $12,000. So it's up to you. If you want to be a sponsor, make sure you do that by April the 5th. Over to you, Gary.
Okay, I just mentioned to you, we did have Ingomar Living Waters came and did a program at Richmar several years ago, but they're one of the primary sponsors of the Honduras mission. They provide us with funding to purchase 500 filters every year, but we are like probably the smallest project that they support. I mean, they are digging wells in Africa. They probably work in 10 countries around the world, just doing amazing water projects. So they are great folks and very worthwhile to support. So so Michelle, I think you're going to wrap it up.
I'm going to give it a try, Gary.
Okay.
So Mac, I'm going to need to share screen.
You're good.
And Gary, you need to stop sharing if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to see a short video about water.
Sound isn't too good, Michelle.
Okay, with that, I'll just say thank you. It was a pleasure for us to be here. It was a real pleasure to partner on this event and get to know some of the Richmar Club members a bit better. So maybe we'll do it again next year. We'll have to wait and see.
Any questions at all? Anybody has?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Sure, Roger.
The filters that we supply, do we have the specs on them? I mean, do they filter out bacteria and other pathogens that could be in the water? I'm curious about that, I'll ask all my questions. Secondly,
Okay, you could take that one.
one of the slides said that Rotary works with partners. I've been involved for a number of years with Engineers Without Borders.
Mhm.
And we're working on water projects in 38 different countries. And I'm wondering if Rotary has ever worked with Engineers Without Borders. If you want to look, it's ewb.org.
I'll have to look that one up. I had another engineer who also told me about them as to maybe helping with the Honduras Hope Mission.
Right.
But I'm not sure whether they work with Rotary at all,
One of the
specifically
things
or not.
One of the things they do is recruit engineering students from various colleges
Mhm.
to actually visit the countries and install water equipment. So again, that could be something that we could do with Pitt or CMU.
Mhm. Okay.
Roger-
You want to talk about the specs on the filters?
Okay, sure. And just before I do that, I will did want to mention, David, Engineers Without Borders, I definitely, they were in, it's a number of years ago now, probably 6, 7 years ago. They were in the Department of Santa Barbara in the a mountain community there, actually putting in a water treatment system for a small community. So I know that because they didn't need our ceramic filters anymore because of course they were going to have a water system and that would be much better. So to answer your question about the efficiency of the filter, I have a certificate. I'll be glad to show you sometime. And it is a certificate from MIT where the ceramic media in our filters was tested and shown to be 99%, I think it's 98.8% effective in removing the bacteria and the E. coli and the coliforms in the water. You know, the filter, the way it works is, of course, if the water goes through that media, for instance, if you fill that a brand new filter, it's a dry filter right now, it can take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours before that water starts to pass through and drip through the bottom. So it shows you how dense that filtering media is. And of course, it has to be built to a certain density so that it makes enough water that people will use it, and it doesn't make too much water and not filter properly. But the big thing about killing the bacteria is that all those filters at the end of their process of being made is submersed in a colloidal silver solution, which we buy from a laboratory in Spain. And those filters are impregnated with that silver solution. And in fact, as long as that filter doesn't get plugged, because we've checked them with, test tube checks when we go back down there. And if they are putting water in the filter that is relatively clear and clean and it's not full of sediment, then the filter will not become plugged. The silver's not going to go away, but you could plug the filter, and that would be the end of its life. So in fact, they can last a lot longer than 2 years, but we want to be conservative on that estimate.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
Well, what a great job, folks. I mean, fantastic. I have a quick question. Can we get the link for Ingomar Living Waters out to the club through DACDB so that so the club members know what's going on there, and if they want to be involved with sponsoring or taking part? I also wanted to get some more information on Walk for Water because Alex, my son's scout troop, this would be something right up their alley to be involved in. So if we could get more information that I could share with the scout troop, I think we'd like to sponsor a walk.
Okay. I will, I'll send that information out right after the meeting along with a coupon just in case anybody doesn't have the flyers on Brewster's and Domenico's, but I'll also include a link for the Ingomar Living Waters, and I'll put the link on there for the Keystone Rotary Club where the scout troop can download the planning guide right off their website there, Dan.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Gary. Hey, and one other thing too, your gift, your donation to the Rotary Foundation, we can do things directly to helping bring clean water to folks. So think about that when you're going through your finances, taxes coming up, thinking about charitable contributions, earmarking some monies towards the water would really be beneficial. And last but not least, we will not have a meeting next week except for the board. We'll get information out on that. The next time we'll be getting together is April 7th, and I believe that'll be Club Assembly. Any other questions while we have our good folks from Keystone and our water warriors, Gary and Joe, still here?
I just want to say I thanks also. I know Joe Mancuso's on the call, but he was out there at 8:30 Saturday morning helping to set everything up along with Jim and Melinda Meehan were out there, and of course Ken and Cindy and Mary Lord was there helping us gather materials together. We just other folks helped. Seth Prentice donated all the backpack bags that we used. Mary Lord's insurance company donated the pens that we used. So we're just grateful for all the folks who pitched in. And if I forget anybody, I apologize. Or Michelle, you probably have the list too. You can.
Well, you did forget one person, Bev.
Oh yeah, that's my wife was there too, putting them together.
Bev is.
All right, I'm in trouble. I'll probably have to buy her a Brewster's ice cream.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're gonna have to go to Brewster's every
Take her
night
to lunch.
next week.
Okay.
Gary,
Oh,
Yeah.
you forgot to mention Jake was there too. Joe brought.
yeah,
Oh,
Jake.
yeah.
He's the new club mascot, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Labrador, he's
Uh-huh.
a Labrador Retriever, right, Joe?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and how old was he at that point? I mean, he looked like a big fur ball, you know.
9 weeks old.
Yeah.
9 weeks. He's going to be big by the looks of him. And because and Jim brought his dog.
Yeah, I think we had Buddy and Abby there too, right?
Yeah, you know, and I'm thinking, gee, I guess I should have brought mine. You know.
I think Mary Lord had her dog there too.
Yeah, she
did.
did.
It was the stage of puppies because what? So Joe, yours is 9. Abby is what? 5 months old, Jim, and then Chloe's 9 months old. So you know, just the stage of puppies.
It was fun. It was really
Good
fun.
day. Good day.
Thanks, folks. We appreciate your help.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Good job, Michelle.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.